So, okay.
Okay. So saya dah buat sedikit information searching tentang unsolved metric dengan portal 5 forces.
Okay.
So untuk basically unsolved metric ni dia adalah strategic planning tools lah. Mana dia bagi company boleh gunakan unsolved metric ni untuk evaluate business risk. Kita boleh gunakan lah based on market, based on risk dan based on product and services yang ada. So dia akan gunakan matrix new product and new market and existing market based on existing product and new product or services lah. Dan dia akan categorizekan risk tu macam mana. So ini adalah dia punya metrik. Saya ada ambil contoh few company yang menggunakan unsolved metric. Contohnya macam Coca-Cola. Untuk market development Coca-Cola, untuk bahagian new market, dan maksudnya dia nak buat market development, dia akan buat new packaging, dia akan try gunakan promotion celebrity ataupun sport figures, ataupun dia akan cuba associate itself dengan event-event besar lah supaya orang boleh kenal. Kalau diversification pula sebelah kanan, dia akan cuba buat produk lain daripada Coca-Cola. Dia buat vitamin ke, dia buat mineral water ke, ataupun dia buat non karbonat, ataupun ada yang dia buat non sugar untuk cater certain avatar of people lah. Market penetration pula dia akan try buat untuk produk-produk dia yang ada sekarang ni existing, untuk old market yang dia ada, dia akan try buat new packaging, contohnya different size or different tin or different packaging untuk attract more people untuk buy, ataupun dia akan buat discount dan sebagainya. Same goes to product development, dia akan try buat new drinks, new variants, dia akan buat R&D sebagainya, ataupun dia buat certain produk hanya available dekat certain location saja. Dia try to match with the local punya demands lah. Kedua saya try tengok juga Xiaomi pun sama. Dia adalah product phones. Untuk diversification kita nampak sekarang ni Xiaomi bukan saja buat telefon, tapi dia dah go for smart technology. TV, PTIs, rice cooker pun dah boleh control by phones and everything lah. Dia try to create smart world punya environment. Dalam market development, dia akan cuba fokus bukan saja dekat Asia dan China, tapi dia try nak penetrate market US dan European. So by having unsolved metric ni, dia boleh buat overall analysis services dan produk dia boleh pergi dekat mana solution dan produk dia perlu diletakkan, adakah perlu dekat market baru ataupun market lama, dan macam mana dia nak pasarkan produk-produk dia lah. Itu basically untuk unsolved metric.
Jap. Before that.
Yeah.
Chan, what have you got to say?
The Xiaomi is actually pronounced as Xiaomi.
Xiaomi, okay.
Okay. Do you have similar presentation, Chan?
Nope.
Okay. All right. For the benefit of the three of you, now I don't want you to memorize this. There is a simpler way to understand this, because you got to understand. You see, like I told you, when you join MBA classes like this, you must have an idea that you want to become a business owner. That's why you attend this kind of classes. You want to become a business owner, ataupun at least you are in a decision making position lah. So the whole idea is that after you have left the university, this knowledge is still applicable. So you understand what you are doing. Now, unsolved metrics, like what Gaddafi was saying just now, it talks about risk. Okay, risk, but at the same time, there are 4 quadrants. Now, these 4 quadrants today, you may remember, but tomorrow you may forget about it, because it is not the term that you use every day. Right? This is common. So then you pay a lot of money for the class just to impress me on Saturday. After that, you forget about this. Then when we meet again, say 6 months after today, because I teach some other subjects, or somebody wants to tell me, oh, this was my last subject lah, I'm not going to see you anymore. Kan? Then maybe when we see outside, bila tengok jam Airi punya jam kat kedai kan. So Airi, apa itu unsolved? Tak pernah dengar pun, dia kata kan. Unsolved, I don't know who is unsolved lah, sir. Doesn't sound familiar lah. Not like kampung baru name also. Okay. So I will tell you why you need to remember this. and there is an easy way to do it. Now, Alshon matrix is very important because it talks about existing market and new market, new product and existing. Okay, so there is a relationship between products and markets. So when you sell the same product in the same market, that means you dekat Kuala Lumpur, you jual nasi lemak dekat Kuala Lumpur, and then you want to sell more of nasi lemak di Kuala Lumpur. Yeah, from 0.1% market share to 20% market share. So that is called market penetration because it is the same market, you penetrate more. Okay, you go inside more. That's why it is called market penetration. Doing the same thing with more effort and more contributions and dedication and so on. That's why it is called market penetration. Jual nasi lemak yang sama, ada banyak branch lain that di market yang sama. Same product, same market. That's why it's called market penetration. Okay. Now, if you want to sell same product, yeah, but new market, that means you go to Kelantan, you go to Negeri Sembilan, you go to Vietnam. That is called market development because now you go to a new market, but with the same product. So whatever you do, macam tadi Gaddafi present tu, he present a case study, no problem. But what I'm sharing with you now is a thought process, something that you should remember. After this, whatever case study comes in, you would know the answer. Okay, bila dia pergi satu new market yang baru, selling same product, it is called market development. Okay, now if you sell different product, meaning to say, selalunya different ni is related lah. Not really different. Macam related ni macam ni lah. You jual kereta, lepas tu you jual lampu kereta. Related lah tu. Related product di kawasan yang sama, katakanlah you jual nasi lemak di Kuala Lumpur. Yeah? And then what you do is that di Kuala Lumpur, di Kampung Baru lah. Then what you do is that you sell the same nasi lemak di Kampung Baru, but now you tambah mihun katakan. Kuih goreng. That is called product development. Because the product, you give more, but in the same market. Okay? That is product development. However, if you decide to sell something else, altogether something else, in the new market, dekat Malaysia, you jual nasi lemak, dekat Kuala Lumpur, dekat Jakarta, you jual bihun di Jakarta. That is product diversification. That is called diversification. You diversify. That is the thought process. Okay. Harry, macam mana? Boleh?
Okay bro, faham. Cuma je bro, from market penetration, lepas tu kita go to market development kan Prof kan? I mean dia punya circle dia.
Bukan, dia tak semestinya. Dia kata kalau you jual you jual jam kan? Okay. Sekarang ni you jual jam, katakanlah hari tu kata you sell limited numbers. Because there are 70 people, you want to sell 70, no problem. And then tomorrow you decide to have a bigger market share, you want to increase it to 100. That is market penetration. Okay?
Baik, Prof.
Okay, so this is very important. So which means that if it is a market penetration, the risk is very low because you're selling similar product in the place you already know. The risk is very low. So when you when you talk about market development or product development, the risk is medium because one factor you know, the other factor is a little bit unknown. Satu kenal, satu tak kenal. Kan? One of it is already, kalau kata market development, the product you already kenal, it's your own product. You go to the market, jadi itu dipanggil market development. Kalau product development ialah new product in the same market, at least you already know about the market. So dia pun medium. Tetapi when you talk about diversification, then the risk is high. Okay? Technically, that is the thought process lah. So bila you cerita pasal unsolved, you kena cerita pasal risk juga.
Yeah, risk.
Okay? Alright. Next.
Thank you.
Next presentation.
Next is Porter 5 Forces. Dia ada 5 faktor yang kita akan look into dalam Porter 5 Forces ni, iaitu threat of new entrants, bargaining power of buyers, threat of statutory product, bargaining power of suppliers, and rivalry among existing competitors. Kalau kita tengok in overall, untuk comparison by unsolved matrix dengan Porter 5 Forces, unsolved matrix more of like kita buat internal assessment untuk kita masuk new product, new market, ataupun produk yang kita ada sekarang ataupun baru, kita nak masuk pergi keluar. Tapi untuk Porter 5 Forces ni, kita mostly tengok apa, kita analyse apa external factor yang akan menyebabkan impact pada company kita. Contoh yang saya ambil adalah BYD Auto, kereta EV yang baru sekarang ni yang daripada China tu.
Okay.
Contohnya macam untuk BYD, dia nak masuk market. Kalau kita tengok untuk faktor pertama, threat of new entrants, BYD dia ada problem dengan high investment untuk masuk EV industry. So bukan semua company mampu untuk masuk EV industry, dan regularly sekarang ni kita tengok yang dominan adalah Tesla, tapi BYD dia analyze this. Kemudian regulatory compliance also adalah problem, sebab banyak regulatory especially untuk MAT EV punya compliance agak tinggi dari segi environmental dan safety. Dan macam mana nak bagi orang kenal BYD ni compare to Tesla, sebab bila kita bercakap tentang EV punya car, mesti orang cakap pasal Tesla saja. Macam mana BYD nak masuk, tu adalah threat yang dia nampak. Kemudian kalau bargaining power of buyers pula, kita boleh nampak demand untuk EV car ni tinggi. Kalau dekat Malaysia pun kita dah nampak trend dah, orang dah start look into EV, dia dan start buat comparison jimat pakai EV dan sebagainya. Lepas tu, tetapi dalam itu juga EV buyer dalam segmen kereta EV ni, dia price sensitive, sebab ni adalah new market untuk EV sector. Sebab sekarang kita masih lagi heavily rely dengan traditional punya car, petrol and engine. So itu adalah related kepada next factor, which is threat of substitute, yang mana sekarang ni masih lagi petrol dan diesel vehicle menjadi pilihan utama masyarakat. Kalau dalam Malaysia memang itulah pilihan dia. Dan kedua adalah public transportation dan alternative transport solution lah. Mungkin orang akan travel guna kereta api dan sebagainya lah. So itu adalah threat kepada BYD juga. Last kali adalah bargaining power of suppliers. Oleh kerana EV demand ni tinggi, concentration untuk battery production tu pun tinggi. Walaupun kita tahu BYD adalah battery producer, tapi supplier ada bargaining power untuk dia dapatkan parts untuk dia build that battery. Jadi suppliers yang ada untuk build that battery pun tak banyak. Untuk hasilkan, maybe dia dapatkan dia punya magnesium dan sebagainya, tak banyak supplier yang boleh apply. Jadi supplier ada high bargaining power untuk tetapkan harga dia kepada BYD, dan BYD terpaksa follow. Itu adalah salah satu impact dia lah. Dan last sekali adalah rivalry among existing competitor, which is kita tahu kebanyakan dominan kereta automobil industri dalam dunia ni dah mula look into EV punya produk, especially bila European company pun, European negara-negara Eropah pun dah start focus no more petrol and diesel car by 2030 if I'm not mistaken. So semua akan go for EV. Jadi dia Tesla, Volkswagen, even Xiaomi sendiri pun dah start developing car EV. So apa yang dia kena buat adalah dia kena buat continuous innovation, dan dia kena pastikan teknologi yang ada pada BYD ni adalah sentiasa berkualiti, high end, dan harga kena dengan penduduk ataupun masyarakat yang nak jual tu lah. Ini adalah comparison yang saya buat, sedikit comparison saja dari segi purpose, application, scope dia, nature of analysis dan limitation. Dan kita boleh nampak penggunaan Porter 5 Forces dan unsolved matrix ini tak semestinya berbeza. Dia boleh digunakan dalam masa yang sama sekali, sebab dia boleh complement. Especially bila kita tengok dekat bahagian nature of analysis, kalau Porter 5 Forces dia evaluate external market forces dan industry challenge. Tapi kalau unsolved matrix, dia assess internal strategic option dan macam mana kita nak gunakan strategic knowledge dan decision untuk buat decision kepada business goals kita. So, sajalah dah habis. Terima kasih.
Shan, anything to say, Shan?
He has said everything that I want to say.
Nampak tak? Nampak tak standard Liverpool? Nampak? Nampak? Nampak tak Manchester? Dengan Arsenal, nampak? 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 Nampak tak? Satu dia ikut belakang ni kan? Sebab tu dia dalam table belakang. Kan?
Saya memang ikut yang menang saja, Prof. Saya mana satu tu saya ikut je.
Okay. Alright. Now what Gaddafi has presented just now is that he has done a research and then he has shown you the answers to a case studies and so on. But what I'm going to teach you, or I'm going to share with you, is more on the thought process. Remember, I told you when I share my knowledge to you, it is with a very minimum punya effort. Meaning to say, when you come to my classes, the takeaway is that I don't have to study. You see, it becomes part of the thing that I should remember for the rest of my life. Right? Okay. Now go back to your first slide dalam apa tu quarter five forces. Actually, the first slide satu lagi. Okay, this one. Now, first thing you when you look at this, you see a lot of information in there. Okay, like what I say, Gaddafi has done is that he has given you examples. Now, examples ni, if you want to learn, masa saya belajar undergraduate, yang ini mungkin 1 hari dia lecture. Bila you belajar MBA ni, dia kena 10 minit ke 20 minit saja. And then exam pun ada satu dedicated question on this, katakanlah untuk undergraduate. Untuk postgraduate, ini soalan tak ada keluar. They become part of your answers. Okay. Now, for you people, why you need to know this thing is because it is very crucial for you to understand. And if you get it right, you always get it right. Dia macam naik basikal. Kalau kerti naik basikal, besok tak boleh kata tak kerti naik basikal. If somebody give you a bicycle, you already know how to ride. Okay. First of all, this arrow yang tunjuk turun ke bawah dan ke tengah tu, yang threat of new entrants, bahagian kan ada arrow warna biru masuk ke rivalry kan, correct? Now what you should be showing is that the arrow should be going in and out. So dia ada macam keluar masuk lah. Ini dia tunjuk satu alert. So you tunjuk 2 alert. So it is a dynamic relationship between the entities. Now, how many of you are into drawing? Siapa suka melukis? Tak suka. Chan, you tak suka melukis. Did you take seni lukisan? Because I know the other two must take agama last time.
No future, sir.
Yeah, I know, but did you take it or not? Masuk form 5, lukisan ada.
Extra subjects, sir.
What did you get?
A1.
Wah, boleh pula dapat A1. Okay. When you start drawing, where do you start drawing? You start from the tepi or the tengah?
Tengah.
Tengah. Kita always start daripada tengah. So when we do a presentation, we always make it from the middle. So what happened is that the argument for this thing yang you nak memorize ni, tidak perlu memorize because the argument starts from the middle. Now remember I told you last week, that's why when we study, there's always something that we studied earlier that will be used in the following classes.
Yep.
Last week, did I tell you to check on the market structure?
Yes, market structure. Yeah.
Did I tell you? Okay. Now, can I give a suggestion? You people look like rich people. Can rich people? No, not rich. No, cannot be lah. One is competing against Rolex. Takkan dia tak
Sederhana
rich.
je.
Satu,
Sederhana je, sir.
satu lagi, market Malaysia dah exhaustive dah. Dia pergi pula negara lain. Dah jadi apa tu market development.
Semalam baru makan
B40 bro, B40. Masih B40 bro.
Yelah, suka tikau lah. Okay. So what happened is that anything, I told you, anything you do, you must know the market structure. Remember, Kan? Sudah kahwin, Kan? Sudah? Ada girlfriend?
Tak ada.
Tak ada. You want to find
Ada kat
girlfriend?
rumah lah, sir. Jangan tanya soalan macam tu, sir. Bahaya.
Ini kau bukan datang kelas. Okay. Eddie dah kahwin, Eddie?
Dah bro.
1-0. 3-0 lah.
3-0.
Gaddafi dah kahwin dah?
Dah Prof.
3-0 kat lah.
3-0 lebih kurang lah.
Lebih kurang. Maknanya dah jadi 2-0 betul. Okay. First of all, why I ask you this question, remember, you always talk about market structure. Anything you do, mistake. This is the first thing consideration. Market and risk. Market and risk. You must have this in your mind. So you always start the presentation by rivalry among competitors. When you talk about rivalry among competitors, that means you are talking about market structure. Okay. Now, let me ask you a question. Kalau ada banyak player in the market, rivalry dia stiff ke tak stiff?
Steve.
Stiff.
Steve,
Betul?
ya.
Chan, stiff ke tak stiff?
Steve.
Maknanya orang jual nasi lemak, ada beribu orang jual nasi lemak. Still lah competition dia very stiff kan?
Ya.
Betul lah? Okay. Now, kalau ramai orang dalam market selling the same product, what kind of market structure is that? Is it oligopoly? Is it monopoly?
Monopolistic.
Monopolistic competition.
Ya.
Mana?
Monopolistic.
Monopolistic competition, right? That is the characteristics. Kalau monopolistic competition, that means threat to entry. Threat to entry itu ialah, kalau dalam bahasa threat to entry ialah senang ke susah nak masuk. Kalau
Senang.
threat, that means threat to entry must be very high.
Ya.
Ataupun satu lagi perkataan yang kita guna, barrier to entry. Kalau kita guna barrier to entry, it's low. That means the barrier is low. That's why everybody can come in. Isn't it? That's why there are so many players in there.
Yeah.
Kalau dia susah nak masuk, maknanya rivalry must be very low. That means 2-3 companies. When we talk about rivalry, we don't talk about the intensity of the rivalry. We talk about the number of players in the rivalry in the market. Okay, very easy to remember. Kalau kita kata, I give you example lah, contoh example. We talk about telecommunication because Chad, you're into telecommunication, right?
Yes, sir.
So we talk about the big players lah. We talk about the big one that has all the solutions lah. They're into all these sort of things macam Maxis, DG, Celcom, right? So rivalry among the players tak ramai. Ada 3 saja. Yang lain tu kecil-kecil, they provide different solution. So the rivalry is 3. Remember I told you, you must cluster your competition. Otherwise, everybody is in the same cage. You cannot put ikan, semut, ular sawah, and then gajah in the same cage. Cannot, right? That's why you have to cluster them. Ikan duduk dalam aquarium. Semut dia punya ni competition dia mungkin dengan kerengga ke whatever lah. You cannot put together with harimau. Okay? So, rivalry among existing competitors is low because there are only 3 players. When there is a 3 players saja, threats ataupun barrier to entry, I lebih suka perkataan barrier to entry lah, senang. Kalau lepas ni you tukar guna barrier to entry lah. Okay. So bila you guna barrier to entry, that means the barrier must be very high. That's why there's so few people can enter the market. Correct. So barrier has many things that you can consider, even if you don't study. That's why I said I can go to the exam and don't study the case study. I can still bullshit because I already know when you talk about barrier, there are a few things that you must know. You must know because you are a businessman. So barrier, among other things that you must know. Okay, I give you another homework. I want you to learn. I want you to check about Pestle, P-E-S-T-L-E. Okay, technically Pestle and Porter 5 forces, they are like adik dan abang. Okay? They must come together. So you can see the combination of the argument. Okay, write this down because in the book they don't usually write this. Porter 5 forces is, tadi Gaddafi ada bagi tahu, dia kata belajar pasal external environment analysis kan. Sebenarnya dia external environment, but it is micro, M-I-C-R-O, micro external environment analysis. Write this down. Micro, M-I-C-R-O, external environment analysis. Okay. Pestle pula adalah macro, M-A-C-R-O, external environment analysis. So, I want you to do 2 things. One, to find out what is Pestle, And then secondly, show a picture next week. How do you relate Pasterly and Porter 5 forces? Ada gambar. Macam mana? Ni gambar ni susah nak cari dalam internet. Kalau susah tak jumpa, fikirkan macam mana we can combine these two pictures together. Okay. Now, macro talks about Pasterly kan. Senang je nak ingat. P-E-S-T-L-E. The first one, P stands for politics. E stands for economic. S stands for social. T stands for technology. L stands for legal. E stands for environment. So which means these are the 6 things that you must consider. So technically, bila you cakap barrier to entry, you must talk about the 6 things lah. Ada political. Yes. You know why? That means there are only 3 companies can get in. That means the political barrier must be very high. The government doesn't allow so many people to participate because there will be a wasteful of resources. Setting up the cost is very expensive. That means nanti kalau ada 3 orang, ada 10 company yang buat benda yang sama, and then the cost of operation is very high, actually ada yang akan rugi besar punya. Kan, betul tak?
Betul.
So that means the barrier must be very high. Government may have certain regulation does not give permit to many companies. So barrier lah tu juga. Lepas tu dia ada technology barrier. So the technology is so advanced, not many people can afford the technology to invest in the technology barrier juga. And then, you know, all these people are talking about environmental, blah, 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 blah. Small companies, usually they don't really talk about environmental because it is a cost to them. So for DGs, they like to be seen macam very environmental friendly. They have to spend on SDG initiative dan sebagainya. So what I'm trying to say is that when rivalry is low, that means only a few players in the market, barrier to entry must be very high. Itu dia punya simple understanding. Kalau ramai players in the market, that means a rivalry is very high. When we talk about rivalry, we talk about the number of players. Don't get this wrong. Not the intensity of the rivalry. The intensity is an inference based on the number of people in the market. Okay? Chan, are you still following? Okay. So, when there are very little number of players in the market, that means barrier is high. Bila there are so many players in the market, barrier is low. That means so many people can enter the market quite easily. Okay? Right?
Prof, nak tanya.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, kan macam tadi Prof kata, government certain things, government purposely put certain business the entry, the barrier to enter the business. Right. Kan. So right. kita nampak macam dalam situasi management government kita sekarang ataupun political kita sekarang always talk about open competition ataupun open, let's say for example for project open tender project. Does it necessary to make everything just level playing field, or should we follow this concept? I mean that
this concept is applicable.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. You can enter, but it doesn't mean you can enter because the cost is very high dan sebagainya. There's so many aspects that you have to consider. Dia kata, okay, no problem. If you are big, you can become you can join the Maxis punya as a competitor. Tapi people know the barrier to entry is very high because the technology cost involved. Setting up plants, setting up so many things. At the end, they say, oh tak payahlah. Kita jadi network provider sajalah. Ataupun jadi company, ataupun jadi cyber security sajalah. You know, go into smaller sectors. Yeah? Okay, the next one, you just go through this by going through the clockwise arguments lah. So you already have threats to entry. The second one, bargaining power of buyers. Okay, now when you talk about bargaining power of buyers, kalau cakap Melayu maknanya buyers ni boleh memilih ke tak boleh memilih. Itu namanya bargaining power. Okay. Now, regardless how many people are there in the market, we always talk about how many suppliers in the market. So if there are 3 players in the market, your bargaining power is low because you cannot really choose. Kalau there are many players in the market, you can choose. Okay, faham? Are you following me?
Yeah.
Okay, you following me? That means when there are many players in the market, I can choose. When there are not many players in the market, I cannot choose. Understand? Yeah? That is what we mean by bargaining power of buyers. Then the next argument is the threat of substitute. Threat of substitute ni apa maksud? Threat of substitute ni maknanya is there a replacement for the product that is being provided. Okay. Again, let me tell you, this is always about market arguments, market structure arguments. What I'm trying to say here is that please focus the argument on the same thing. Jangan lari. Contohnya, tadi bila kita kata rivalry among existing competitors is low, because you are talking about this animal called kadah, for example. How many people can invest in telco for this punya sector lah, yang total solution ada 3 saja. That means rivalry is low because there are only 3 players in the market. That means the threat of substitute must be also very low. If the threat of substitute is very high, this fella is become irrelevant. That means this telco company is irrelevant because so many substitutes. Dia kalau yang boleh ada banyak substitutes ni ialah monopolistic competition saja yang ada banyak substitute. Oligopoly, monopoly exist because there are not many substitutes. Understand? So, if we refer back to the argument just now, rivalry is low. Tulis kat bawah sini. Satu turun. Maknanya rivalry is low. Barrier to entry is naik, tinggi. Bargaining power is low. And then threats of substitute is low. Correct? Okay. What I'm trying to say, kalau satu naik, 3 mesti turun. Kalau satu naik, 3 turun. Kalau satu turun, 3 naik. Now I reverse the argument. Is the rivalry among the competitors high? That means there's so many players in the market. So satu naik kan? Barrier to entry must be very low. That's why so many people in the market naik. Bargaining power of buyer is low atau high? It's very high. Because there are so many players in the market, I can choose. Why so many players in the market? Substitute must be very high as well. So, bila satu turun, 3 naik. Bila satu naik, 3 turun. It's always like that. The answer must be consistent on normal circumstances. Unless it's a specific thing which many people do not know, then you can have, I'm not sure lah, this naik ke turun ke. Kalau tidak, 90% of the calculation is correct. That's why I say, you give me any case study, you can almost bullshit the answer.
Yeah.
Because the thought process is similar, it's market structure argument. That's why you can write so fast without really thinking. Because you can almost dictate the answers already. You can almost guess the answer already. Faham tak? Chan, when you go for this kind of meeting, you must look smart, You want to tell people, without so much reading also, I know the answer. I can almost guess. If you give me 3 months, maybe my answer will be much comprehensive lah. Tapi kalau you bagi saya 2 minit saja, I can get 90% of the answer correct already. That's what you should be doing. That's why you come to this sort of classes. You come to this sort of classes not to learn the perfect answer. You come to this sort of classes is to learn the thought process, how to make decision. What is the logical answers to make decision? What are the logical things that you have to consider? This is the market structure argument. Okay. We have not talked about bargaining power of supplier. Okay. Now, let me tell you something. That's why I insist the student to come to my class every time. Now, of course, the student will say that there are other substitute doctor, because the substitute including video, including buying the books. So I would tell people, it depends on how you look at me lah. Kalau you tengok there are so many competitors, that means I'm a monopolistic competitions, then of course the barrier to entry is very low. The bargaining power is very high because you can choose. And then the student will say, There are so many substitute, doctor. Why bother? Saturday morning, I want to sleep. I want to play golf. I go girlfriend. They're all more important because referee is very low. So many things I can substitute you against. But for somebody will tell you, no, Dr. Amir class, I cannot miss because he's a monopoly. The barrier is very high, you know. You know why? Because if I talk nonsense, if I'm Manchester United, Arsenal, he will kick me out. So the barrier must be very high. And the bargaining power is very low. Because you know why? We have to concentrate. We don't have choice. Classes to do, we must do. Is there a substitute? Well, yes, there is a substitute, radio, video, dan sebagainya. But the thing is, if we watch the video, we cannot ask him question. And then secondly, if I go to Kino Kunowa, I have to buy the book. But the book never teach me how to think. The book only tell me how the tool works, but it never teach me how to think. So at the end, I go back to square one. I was stupid before, I remain stupid. So Dr. Ami must be monopoly. Correct, because what I teach you is not, bukan tak ada dalam buku, dia ada dalam buku, tapi they never teach you how to think. If they teach you how to think, they cannot sell book anymore. Nobody sell a book on economic how to think. They tell you what are the tools. Then you get confused, you buy another book. Then they come up with new edition. Actually, the thought process is the same. Faham tak? Kan? Faham, Gadavi? Ni, Harry.
Ya.
Hari sudah injury already.
Faham, Prof.
Crystal
faham,
clear, crystal clear.
Saya bergerak-gerak, Prof. Tu yang saya kena off cam, takut je pening pula.
Apa kau ni ke? Kau tengah kodeng dengan Ines ke apa?
Saya kena kesana ke sini, Prof. Saya tekan bil apa semua.
Oh ya. Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
So that is the thought process. Now, I will tell you, nobody actually discuss about this apa pastely together. They discuss, correct? Tapi I want you to remember, if you study, you always interconnect the ideas together. Who never interconnect the ideas? Because that's why they come by chapters. Chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, then you get confused. After chapter 20, oh, there are so 20 things I got to remember. But you never see how they are connected. Then you have to spend time connecting dan sebagainya lah. Even that pun you pun tak apa-apa sure. That's why you come to this class, you can become lazy, your teacher is doing the teaching for you. Kan? No need to read. See, coming to Dr. Amir class, no need to read, no need to buy books. Just listen to him babbling only. Kan? Betul. After that, no need to study, we remember for the rest of life. Sangat senang kerja. Okay. Now, if I were you, I will draw a dotted line. Okay, dotted line, Gaddafi, From your diagram, I will draw a dotted vertical line. Itu vertical dari atas turun ke bawah. Dotted, maknanya sebelah bargaining power tu, bargaining power tu daripada atas sebelah thread to new entries. New
Oh,
entry
ada garisan ni, dotted island ni, dotted.
ada dotted sampai ke bawah. Dia seolah-olah dia tidak automatically direct. Sebenarnya dia direct. Tapi this for the thought process, I purposely buat dotted line. You know why I put a dotted line? Because bargaining power of supplier depends on the number of suppliers. So it has its own market structure.
Yeah.
Regardless what happened to the other three, I still have my own market structure. Contohnya. Okay. Now, bargaining power of supplier in the telco company probably is very low. You know why? There are so many players selling so many things in the telco company. So, they tak boleh action kepada DG. That's why DG Maxis all can make a lot of money because they can suppress the suppliers. Because, you tunjuk action dengan I boleh beli OEM lah. I boleh beli sana lah. I boleh sini. You all not bukan monopoly punya market. Bukan a single player selling everything to all three of us. So we can dictate the price, not you people dictate the price. You understand? Sama dengan oil and gas company. Why these people can make tons of money? Because there's so many suppliers out there. These people who are giving services to Shell, Petronas and so on. Petronas say, hey, get lost. If you put this price, get lost. I can buy from other people. That's why I said there are two market structures argument to remember here. One is the one we talked earlier, the threat to entry, every store, substitute and bargaining power. Technically, the argument for this looks into the rivalry saja. How many people in the rivalry? That is the market structure. You get that right, you get the other three right. And then the bargaining power of supplier is the different market structure. Ask yourself, how many players are there in the market? Senang saja. Most likely, in most circumstances, the answers are bargaining power of supplier is low because there are so many people selling similar items. Okay, now let me ask you a question. Tadi kita cerita satu turun, tiga naik. That means kalau bargaining barrier to entry tinggi, yang lain tu semua mesti turun. Maknanya rivalry is low. There's so many, it's so few players in the market. Bargaining power of buyer pun very low because they cannot choose. And then threat of substitute is also very low. That's why there's only few players in the market, right? Satu turun, tiga naik. Tiga turun, satu naik. Ataupun satu naik, tiga turun, satu turun, tiga naik. This is the argument for the everything on the right hand side. On the left hand side, the bargaining power, it has its own market structure. So, kalau kita buat MBA dalam management subject, if you're gonna get a case study, the most likeliest case study that you're gonna get is always among the case studies of oligopoly ataupun monopoly. But most likely is oligopoly, not monopoly. Monopoly is so simple because single player, then everything is so easy for you to answer. Oligopoly is the best choice because there are 2-3 companies that you have to consider. That's why then you can go to the unsolved. Dia ada relation dengan unsolved. Tapi kalau I tanya monopolistic competition, basically I'm asking question anything under the sun. Because so many competitors, so then your answer also can be so many. Kan? Jadi technically kalau kita pergi good business school pun, kita boleh agak lah. Kalau dia tanya soalan ni, mesti oligopoly punya answer lah. Oh, kalau dia kelentong macam mana pun, I can structure it into an oligopoly punya answer. You know why? When I talk about market structure, then I justify that the company is in oligopoly because I said, hey, this animal, you know, this animal is called tiger. But you got to understand, no, tiger got so many tigers. One tiger can run very fast, one tiger very slow. So I don't want to put them in the same cage. Itu harimau Malaya, dia tak lari laju. Dia tak boleh sama dengan harimau kumbang, harimau itu semua. Dia lari dari cheetah. Itu lain. Then suddenly, I make a disclaimer at the very beginning. This is the oligopoly market structure because I give a characteristic. Oh, yeah. They're not tiger actually. A subgroup of tigers. So I cannot put all these similar looking tiger in the same cage. Doesn't make sense. Understand not? Boleh faham?
Boleh.
A lot of corporate people make a mistake. Because when they say telco, semua masuk telco. Dia jadi macam caca merba punya market. Instead, why can you say that, actually, you know what? Can subgroup this into a telco cyber security saja. And then cyber security got so no players in the market. Yeah, but my solution, I don't need to talk about other people, you know. My solution is gunakan this software saja. Why don't we talk about this software only? Oh, but then, is this a good choice of decision? Do you think there are so many other substitutes? And I say, yeah, there are other players, but the substitute is not equivalent. Meaning to say that substitute is substandard. My product is premium. That's why when people talk about phones, smartphone, right? Smartphone. Then Samsung will say that, oh, I'm a big player. Oppo also said, oh, I'm already becoming a big player. Xiaomi, I'm also a good player, a big player. So we are all competitors to Apple. Then Apple at the top management say, hey boss, don't worry lah, boss. They are not our competitor. Hey, what do you mean they are not competitors? Don't you think when people go to the market, they actually look into all these 4 or 5 different brands and then they make consideration whether they want to buy 7,000. 7,000 they should spend too. Is it Apple, Xiaomi, Redmi, whatever? Then the top people at Apple will tell you, no, sir. The 7,000 remain 7,000. Tomorrow we will put 8,000 so can. Why do you have to bother about Samsung or other players? They all sell similar product. They are competing against each other. They want us to be in the same cage with them. But actually, we are not in the same cage. Because first of all, we use different software altogether. And virus free, whatever it is, we use different. And the top management say, actually, we are monopoly. Don't need to consider that. Why you want to consider that? No need to consider that. Whatever they do, it's up to them. We are not following whatever they do. Can. But Samsung may say, hey, Apple, come in the competition. Apple will say, no, you are different. Different market, you fight with your friend. I'm not your friend, I'm not your competitor, for example. Yeah? Understand? Understand? But some people will say, no. They are in the same category because they are smart. Now, for people, I want to ask you, if you interview people, they will tell you the Apple people will tell you that I'm Apple people. I don't care about what other people are doing. Correct? Most people are like that. Tetapi bila you cerita pasal other phones, yang smartphone yang lain menggunakan similar technology, people can be a little bit fussy. That means if tomorrow Xiaomi will tell you that I can give better camera than Samsung, you might change your choice. Or Samsung will give ataupun siapa tu, so Oppo will give you something yang slightly cheaper with better features. You might go to a different brand. But Apple, unlikely. Because Apple will tell you that we are different from other people. Don't simply put us as part of the argument for smartphone. Dia takkan buat macam. Sebab tu you tengok Apple ni suka hati dia je. Kan dia esok dia nak jual 7,000, dia jual. Lepas tu similar thing, dia ada different sizes. Kau nak kecil sikit, harga murah sikit. Macam tu. They don't care. Mana ada Samsung buat Note 3 lepas besar, lepas tu kecil, lepas tu ini, tak ada. Because they are competing different things. You understand? Okay, so you remember this. Tomorrow I ask you exam question, can answer already. 3 minutes, can answer it. Cannot be. No, Manchester United cannot. Arsenal can answer. Arsenal can answer. Tomorrow got test, no?
Arsenal after Gent transfer confirm performnya, Prof.
Beli orang je. Itulah kerja dia. Saya beli orang je. Siapa kau nak beli kali ni?
Mbappe masuk Mbappe.
Mana ada. Angin pun tak ada masuk. Mbappe nak pergi tu. Mana nak pergi Arsenal berapa? Arsenal. Mbappe mesti top of table punya club. Kan?
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid tak ada lah. Kan? Arsenal ni pun tak tahu lah apa dia punya plan. Beli macam-macam player. Lepas tu buat ni je. Buat storage saja. Kan? Macam storage kapak.
Ini semua buki, Prof. Buki.
You tengok itu Tosat tu. He's a good player. He can think. Right? He is a thinker. He's a player maker. He did very well at Brighton. When he goes to Arsenal, tak dapat main pun. Every time that he plays, he had the contribution lah. I think this guy went to the wrong club lah. And he's first 11 untuk Belgium kan.
Betul, Prof.
Tapi dia Arsenal tak dapat main pun. I think, and then he's not so young juga kan. So macam rugi saja masa dia dah. Betul tak? Tak apalah. Orang lain punya ada bisnes, biar dia lah. Dia kan monopolistic competition. Biar dia gaduh dengan Manchester United, Spurs, semua biar dia. Lantar dia lah.
Prof, I think kita talking about the same issue. Kita just bring to in term of football and Prof. Sometimes I think diorang ni beli player so that dia punya competitor tak dapat player tu, Prof.
Yes.
I think that also one of the part of the strategy, Prof.
Yes. I remember there was one time Liverpool bought 2 goalkeepers on the same day, and then people accuse it. It's just, are they really good? I mean, reasonably good lah, reasonably. Tapi dia bukan top star sangat. Dia beli, and then dia kata it's as if you don't want other people to buy. Ada juga. Kan, kalau kita main football simulation, that's what we always do kan. But I didn't know Arsenal always do this.
Tak lah, Prof. Tak. Kelab kedekut ni, Prof. Mana boleh buat benda-benda macam ni.
Tapi dulu masa saya dekat England, Arsenal memang kedekut gila. Masa tu Arsene Wenger's time kan. Arsene Wenger, do you know that Arsene Wenger has dalam kontrak dia dulu, he has to be dia ke Alex Ferguson has to be the highest paid manager in the Premier League, which means that even if they didn't win, but somebody else get a pay rise, they also get a pay rise. One of them had that in the contract. They have to be the highest paid manager in the Premier League. And then masa dulu Arsene Wenger ni ada satu problem. Dia punya problem ialah he cannot have his salary cannot be lower than any of the players. So Arsenal cannot buy superstar. Most of the people who joined in was okay lah, tapi lepas tu bila dia punya gaji nak naik, dia kena tempat lain lah. He believed the boss must be be in charge lah. Sekarang sudah lain, dia main beli saja kan. Kita pun tengok banyak duit lah ini orang. Ini orang banyak duit lah. Apalah. Betul ke? Betul. Kan kita PJ Club lah, PJ City saja. Okay, any questions to ask? What time is it now? 11:58. Oh, you people have to leave by 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. Okay, that's the first thing that I want you to learn. And then I want you to also understand about I also want you to understand about pastely. Okay, now you also understand about unsolved. There are 3 things that you need to understand. What we have covered is that last week you studied about SWOT analysis. Remember, I told you SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is about people, process, and technology. Yeah. Now, SWOT analysis is divided into 2. One is internal and the other one is external. Yeah. This one you must get it right. You get it right today, you always get it right. Okay. Now, SWOT analysis is an item whereby you look into 2 parameters. One is internal and the other one is external. The internal is strength and weaknesses. The externals are opportunities and threats. Opportunities and threats are external. So, when we talk about external opportunities and threats, kita mesti menggunakan argument makro dengan micro, which means Porter 5 forces is in the evaluation as well as macro, which is the pastely that you are going to figure out next week. So, internal dengan external. For external, which is opportunities and threats, dia mesti tengok into the argument of macro and micro external environment analysis. Bagaimanapun, the internal, which is the strength and weaknesses. Okay. Sekarang ni, Chan, how do you know it is a strength? How do you know it's a weakness? Very simple. Okay. Now, when we talk about the strength and weaknesses, it's not about you do a simple audit and then you just simply think that, okay, I'm good at this, I'm not good at this. Whatever I'm good at is a strength, whatever I'm not good is a weakness. Not like that. But what you should be doing is that you must understand what is the market argument. Expectation of the market. Okay. Siapa kita nak bantu? Siapa nak kahwin lagi? Rosli, I think you're far away from your wife, right? It's okay, you can be a gentleman and say, you can be yourself lah. Oh, dah tutup pula dah kamera.
Tak bro.
Tak minat?
Tu je dia bro. 3 step.
Okay. Dia 3 meter saja.
Kalau tak saya kena masuk video balik je lagi bro.
Kalau tak kena potong lah. Kita main. Gaddafi, how far are you? No problem.
Dia keluar boleh.
Okay, free that. So what was I? Okay. So Gaddafi suddenly he went to see 3 consultant lah kan. Aku consultant, Chan consultant, and Harry consultant. Yeah. Okay, boss, want to get married lah, boss. No problem. So what do you think, Gaddafi? Think you stand a chance? Yalah, kau lah kan. Aku orang kaya, kan. Janggut pun panjang, handsome lagi kan. Muda, mestilah peluang bagus kan. Yalah, you do a SWOT analysis lah. You do a SWOT analysis. So he start saying all the good things about him, like handsome, apa semua cantik lah. Weakness sikit je, tak ada weakness lah. Ada pun satu dua sajalah, you know. Usually if I have 2-3 girlfriend, I have problem about managing my time lah. That's my weakness lah. And managing time is my weakness. Managing time for each girlfriend is my weakness lah. For example. Then I say, I think you have not done your SWOT analysis properly. That's why I said many people, when they conduct their SWOT analysis, they do not conduct it properly. 70 to 80% of the people who conduct SWOT analysis, they got it wrong. They got it totally wrong. They short sendiri je. Kita tanya ke David, itu semua lah 100 benda yang good about him. Actually, that is not a SWOT. That is not a strength. You know what is a strength and what is a weakness? We got to ask the women. Perempuan-perempuan dalam dunia, please give me your preferences. So they must have a list of things. Contohnya handsome. Okay, Garafi, how old are you? 30 plus, 40.
37.
Okay lah, 40 lah. 40 senang cerita.
40.
Okay, 40 lah kan. Because the rest pun sudah 40 plus.
Okay.
So women, bila dia masuk 40 plus, I don't really care lah whether you got hair, whether you handsome, gigi ada, tak ada penting. Just show me your wallet and your Sing-Yong card. Got Sing-Yong card or not? Got wallet or not? Right? So that is the requirement. Apa lagi? Stability. So that is nothing to do with tinggi ke, pendek ke, kasut panjang ke, kasut pendek ke. Ada. Itu maybe requirement for 20 years old. But 40 years old, they have different requirement. And then I say, you check or not what is the requirement? Didn't check. Okay, I tell you what is the requirement. Requirement is duit mesti ada, stability mesti ada, job mesti ada, kereta mesti ada, rumah mesti ada. That's all they look at. Then tell me, now we have a parameter, check against the parameter. How good are you against this parameter? If you're good, put it in strength. If you're not good, you put it in the weakness. Bukan you simply put down everything that you think you're good at in the strength. Maybe over there, you see, I'm handsome. Actually, the woman doesn't even look at it. Whether handsome or not handsome, not important. At the age of 40, tak penting. Betul ke, Chan? You agree with me or not? That's how you do your analysis. So, in the list of your target stakeholders, these are not important. Then you should not consider about that. Tak penting. Jadi tak payah tulis itu aku handsome, aku tak handsome ke. Dia tak ada dalam consideration. Ada credit card 10 biji. So, ada boleh kerhutangan sampai 1,5 juta. Okay, strength. Contohlah, kan. Tu, kan. Betul. Kan.
So we have the same wallet.
Tin wallet not important. Dia tak ada kriteria pun bukan tin wallet. Dia kebolehan membayar.
So my wallet is the same as yours.
Yeah, but aku cikgu, kau businessman. Kan. Okay.
Sama-sama manusia.
So Harry may say that I got so many watches. You buy one, I got 70. So kan. So dia ada requirement kan. Benda-benda macam itulah. So kita kena tahu market structure argument. So now you can do your SWOT analysis properly. Makes sense already, isn't it? So show me the criteria. So okay, in real life, who can show you what is the character? Ni memang susah. But you can guess. Takkanlah nak kata handsome ke apa benda. Handsome memang lah umur 20 tahun. Kan? Tapi umur 40 tahun, dia akan tanya soalan lain. Kenapa perempuan pilih umur 70 tahun mana lelaki? Dia tanya handsome ke? Ya, pakcik tu handsome. Pakcik yang bawa tongkat tu handsome. Pakcik yang bawa tongkat tu kuat. Memang dia mesti lain punya. Itu pakcik ada duit berapa banyak dalam bank. Itu pakcik berapa lama dia mau hidup lagi. Itu pakcik berapa banyak dia punya inheritance punya tu ada. Betul tak? Dia punya requirement lain, dia bukan itu pakcik banyak terror tau. Itu tak penting. Betul ke? Harusly Harry, betul Harry. Actually Harry got so many applicants kan, nak masuklah, dia kan orang kaya kan.
Betul, dia ada target selalunya bro.
Dia pun tengok sama tengok sana, dia pay attention ke sana tengok. Yang 3 meter tu ada pay attention tak ada.
Ada.
Tapi baru dia berani sikit. Kalau tak tadi dia pun antara berani dengan tak berani nak jawab. Datang balik lah. Takkan aku nak bagi solution kau nak cabut. Rafi. Dapat free consultation lagi kan. Betul.
Berguna consultation tu, saya memang nak gunakan tu.
Aku rasa aku nak telefon ni lah. SKC ni. Aku nak telefon Uni Razak lah. I think this class should have a different fees lah. People paying peanuts getting big solution. Cannot be lah. Kan? You cannot be going to kedai jam. Kan? Last kali dapat itu Tony Romas sekali kan. Tu nak pergi jam, tunjuk duit lah. Ada duit, ada duit kan. Akan datang borak. Lepas tu aku bagi buat Tony Romas. Kan? Lepas tu beli jam murah pula kan. Tak beli jam yang mahal kan. Mana boleh kan.
Prof, maybe next time kita boleh consider buat kelas dekat Tony Romas jugalah, Prof. Mungkin kita boleh berubah sikit kan cara
Tak ada
buat
masalah. Tak ada masalah. You just name the place, I'll order the most expensive one lah.
Student tu Gaddafi, top student.
Tak apa. Aku gini je. Sebelum sampai kau dah boleh order dah, untuk aku cari yang paling mahal. Betul. Actually, I tell you something. When you go, the consideration of going to business school, first of all, you should know who are your classmates. That is the consideration. Macam ni kan, classmate aku toke jam. Classmate aku toke telecommunication dekat negara lain. Toke aku ni, toke aku semua yang tera-tera. Itulah maksudnya tu. Kan? Bukan toke aku ni awet, muda, cantik. Mungkin lah 20 lebih boleh lah. Ini dah masuk 4 siri, 5 siri kan. Dia punya enjin pun sudah slow sikit kan. Jadi requirement dia mesti lain sikit. Betul tak? Abang Harry, betul ke Abang Harry? Abang Harry macam takut-takut je. Ini sebelah je.
Tak.
Dah kecut,
Apa dia? Chan? What is it?
dah kecut sikit.
Dia daripada tadi kecut tu. Dia tak berani tunjuk taring. Kalau kelas
Patutlah
malam,
diam.
kalau kelas malam dia tunjuk taring tu. Kan? Betul ke? Malam dia tunjuk garang sikit lah. Kalau dekat hospital dia buat takut lah. Dia buat macam very innocent lah.
Nampak suci sikit bro macam tu.
Apa when you people talking about football lah. Okay, any question? Kalau tak ada question, okay. Then what you should be doing now is that that's why I said, if you go and buy the book on SWOT analysis, they never teach you how to think. They just tell you what is strength, weaknesses, opportunities. They talk about every one of them. But they tak pernah cakap, macam mana for you to come out with a realistic SWOT analysis. The realistic SWOT analysis look at the requirement of stakeholders. Okay, then the external environment dengan which is the opportunities dengan they look at the macro and micro, which is also sebenarnya they look at the certain parameters, not anything under the sun. What I'm trying to say here is that, kita punya masyarakat selalu cakapkan education is important, correct? So I'm sure you have heard maybe, or your parents say this, or you have heard somebody say something like this. Say for example, when you are at the school last time, kalau kau pandai lah, clever boy and something. So some parents say, untung lah, dapat anak pandai, dah besar boleh jadi apa-apalah, engineer ke apa kan. You heard about this, right? People say, good lah Chan, very clever, you have bright future, you can become whatever lah, astronaut ke apa kan. You heard about this. So actually what they're saying is that's opportunity. Your strength is you pandai, and then your opportunity is to become astronaut. See, what they say is not correct because they didn't study about SWOT analysis. Opportunity is external factors, not internal factors. That means you cannot control. Internal factors you can control. You have it or you don't have it. So you can work towards having it or you can work towards not having it. Tapi external, you cannot control. That's why I told you external is external, macro and micro, which is come from outside. So kalau Malaysia tak ada agenda buat jadi astronaut, macam mana kau nak jadi astronaut? Kalau kau pandai gila-gila pun, government say, I got no money to send you to the university, you have to close the university, kau pun tak pergi university. Correct lah. Kan? Betul lah dia dapat 10 tapi government kata kita dah tak ada tu program buat medicine lagi lah. Kita tak ada tu program untuk jadi astronaut. You cannot become astronaut. Even though you're the best. Betul tak? That's why I said opportunities and threats come from external. Jadi apa pakcik tu cakap, pakcik tak pergi tu sekolah datang ni. Pakcik cakap ni tentu. Pakcik sudah check to external environment. Dia pun, oh you apa tu external environment. Kita kena tengok makro dengan micro. To externally dengan quarter 5 forces. That only makes sense. Bang, lepas ni kalau kau punya sales naik 20%, Eric, aku kena minta sikit commission lah. Aku kena minta consultation fees lah. Send somebody to your office lah. Correct, there's some consultation fees lah. Kan, ini bayar 1,000, kerja lebih dapat sampai 40-50 ribu. Mana ni kan? Eric, esok je dia dah sudah potong itu masa Aloji punya market kan. Lepas tu dia buat bodoh, jangan taki-taki fried chicken 3 ketol ayam kat aku kan. Order Grab, hantar kepada ini CEO. 3 ketol ayam. Lepas tu Kentucky Fried Chicken pula ada sale sekarang kan. Orang semua tak pergi kan, dia bagi diskaun lah. Itu ayam daripada RM15 jadi RM12. Okay, any question? Tak ada? Okay. So what I want you to do is that I want you to look into those things. That's very important. Okay, now, this sort of thing is very important because these are thought process. See, I don't want to teach you something yang you need to memorize without knowing the thought process. Because if you know the fundamental, anything you can do. The topic of what we are doing is new venture. But new venture, I can tell you only character. You also can read, no problem. You also can Google the answer, no problem. But the thought process, nobody can teach you. Nobody can explain. I can do because I have this knowledge because I've studied so many different things and I've done this so many times. So it's easier for me to do it. Okay, now you want to talk about new venture, you talk about vertical integration, horizontal integration. Now, obviously, if you don't study thought process yang kita belajar, then you can just say, just kahwin je lah dengan siapa-siapa so that I can acquire the company and so on. Not that easy, isn't it? Now you understand if you know the market structure arguments, then it's not that easy. That's why when we first started the class last time, I did mention to you about Roman Abramovich nak beli Chelsea. Remember? I told you. Because Roman Abramovich, all this club, dia kata, some rich Russian guy is coming in. So are we all monopolistic competition? Suddenly there are 20 clubs that to having this perangan-rangan untuk jadi satu company kaya? No. Or even club macam Sheffield United ke apa tu, tomorrow we can become rich. No, not necessary. And because then somebody will analyze, hey, does he want to have a club at the remote area so that it's so cheap that he can buy? No, he was not interested. He was only interested in the cosmopolitan. That means he was not even interested in Manchester United. He wanted to stay in London. Then I told you already. Then the people in London will say, I'm Queen's Park Rangers. I'm also in London. Right? I'm also, ada lagi club-club kecil-kecil lah kat London. London got so many clubs. Small clubs playing in other division. Macam dulu Bradford tu. Bradford tu pun satu club kecil. Kan? Takkan dia pun boleh berangan-angan. Dia pun tak boleh. So you already know there are only a few big clubs. Which is West Ham, Chelsea, Spurs, Arsenal. Even Queen's Park Rangers pun bukan a big club, you know. It is at zone 2, walaupun dia dekat zone 2. Kan? Dia bukan satu club yang besar. Ataupun Crystal Palace, dia bukan club yang besar yang ada tradisi dan sebagainya. Dia are London club, but not so big club. Kan? Lepas tu Wimbledon, dulu Wimbledon dekat London juga. Zone 3 ke? Sekarang Wimbledon dah tak ada tu, dia dekat MK Don. Dia panggil Wimbledon MK Milton Keynes. It means dia sudah shift dia punya stadium tempat lain. Dulu stadium Wimbledon dengan stadium Crystal Palace sama stadium, Selhurst Park. Because Wimbledon does not have a proper stadium. Dia pinjam stadium orang lain. That's why it's easy for them to move out. Dia punya tu dia duduk kat Milton Keynes. Jadi dia jadi Milton Keynes Club lah. Dia buat macam it's a club lah. It's more of a club lah Wimbledon ni. Dia buat macam apa tu American football dekat apa tu dekat US kan. American football you could be called Raiders, but then you could be changing stadium from this stadium to another stadium. Hari ni you Raiders dekat Johor, so you Raiders dekat apa tu dekat Kuantan for example, you know, you understand? Wimbledon is also doing that, and then you cannot do heavy Spurs, Tottenham Hotspur, and then suddenly where's your stadium? Stadium I dekat itu Newcastle. Ada siapa nak sokong kau lah kan? Betul lah. Okay. So you need to understand about vertical and horizontal integration. Vertical means going up or down. That means acquiring your competitor. Or that means kalau going up, that means you are buying your competitors. Kalau you going down, you're buying your suppliers. That is what we call vertical integration. Horizontal integration means you're buying people of a similar nature. Okay, kalau orang kata new venture, there are two kind of new venture. Tadi kita sudah belajar produk, and kita belajar market, itu one. And then the other thing is what type of thing. The type is called vertical and horizontal. Vertical means going up or going down. Going up, buying your supplier, buying your distributor. Going down, buying your supplier. Okay. And then horizontal, buying the people in the same category. Alright, ada soalan nak tanya? Okay, sudah boleh kahwin? Betul lah.
Boleh lebih yakin lah lepas ni. Kalau buat
Ah.
SWOT analysis tu lebih bermakna lah. Sebab kita dah tahu nak check kat mana kan.
So I think you confirm it with your wife first lah. Kira by SWOT analysis lah. Kali wife kau kata,
saya gunakan wife saya dululah. Saya test SWOT analysis saya.
aku takut gini je. Kan wife kau tengok. Bos dia kata, bang, kau ada banyak negatif dan positif. Kau banyak weakness. Kan? Yang strength tu sebenarnya tak betul tu. Dekat weakness. Kan? Strength dia satu je. Janggut je panjang. Sebab wife dia nak jadikan jawapan dia tidak kan.
Janggut ni pun saham juga bro. Senang sikit. Dia dah boleh attract certain punya segmen punya minat.
Bukan apa ni kadang risau tak jadi SWOT je, SWO tu dah hilang, tinggal thread je nanti.
Jawapan semua negatif je kan. Aku bukan kerat kau punya janggut je kan. Aku kerat macam-macam lagi kan. Okay. Any question you want to ask? Ada soalan?
All good, sir.
Oh, sekejap one thing sekejap one question sekejap.
Irie, how's your leg?
Okay ke? Tadi?
Okay bro, semua itulah visio ni. Macam camp tahanan seksa lah.
How long are you supposed to be there? I mean, for how many?
2 months at least.
2 months. You have to come every other day ke apa?
Wednesday and Saturday.
Oh, Wednesday and Saturday lah. Then how long are you supposed to be there?
For 2 months.
Yelah, I mean like every session.
Every session is 1 hour je bro. Sekarang ni cuma dia paid and claim kan insurance. So just waiting nak bayar bil ni. Ramai orang pula di ni. So
cakap dia takkan aku nak lari, aku sponsor. Kan? Aku kedai aku kosong lah, takkan nak lari juga kan. Takkan nak lari pergi Thailand.
At least ada ni ada kelas tak ada saya tercemuk nak tunggu nak bayar.
Oh ya ke? Okay, tak apa. Don't worry. Okay, it's 12:21 kan. Since I've been talking, you all cheated me again, as usual. Kan? Right, you jokers were supposed to talk. Then I'm doing the talking again. Then I take 10 minutes lah. Rehat. After that, we can round up the class. Okay.
Okay, Prof.
I think sudah cukup lah ilmu untuk 1 minggu kan.
Ah,
Banyak sangat pun.
lebih Prof ni, lebih ni. Ilmu satu
Banyak
bulan ni.
pening kepala kan. Kita nak menguatkan minda kita untuk berfikir kan. Thinking is the most expensive. I mean, you ask your boss. Some people say, hey, you very lazy. I never see you go outside. Then you should tell them, hey, people pay me for my brain, no, not for me to lari-lari semua kan, betul? Kan, betul? Kan? If you pay me for lari, I lari lah. And then you pay me for white collar, isn't it? White collar job kan? Kau mesti. Betul? Okay lah. Okay. Okay, now what we have studied so far since last week, the first thing that we talk about resources are scarce. When resources are scarce means that you have to make decision. That's the understanding. Not making decision is not a good thing. So making decision must involve risk assessment. That's what we did. Okay, you study risk assessment based on the unsort metrics yang tadi kita cakap. And then when you do the SWOT analysis, there are risk assessment, meaning to say there are parameters, you benchmark yourself against the parameters. That's why you get the element of risk. Risk ni maknanya ada risiko lah, bukan kata hentam kerongo saja. Short sendiri saja kan. So this is the risk aspect that you have to consider. The risk aspect that you have to consider is including external factors environment analysis. External factors environment analysis ada dua. Satu makro, satu micro. The one that we showed just now is micro. The one that we are going to cover next week are micros. MACRO. Then we understand about the application of Porter 5 forces is based on market structure. So anything you do has something to do with market structure. Anything you do apart, including SWOT analysis, there are other market structure. Contohnya, how good are you? Okay, this is the parameter. How good are you? Good. But good ni, you must compare yourself against other people. Katakanlah, sebenarnya aku ni very good lah. How good are you? Out of 196. But then everybody in the market is also 96 and above. So you consider not so good. If you are 95, fail. Weakness. Betul. Kan? Kata kau nak kahwin dengan anak raja. Kan? You make yourself. Iyalah. Tapi bila tengok kekayaan kau tu tak cukup kaya. Jadi weakness lah. Kan? Betul. Understand? Understand? Because you are comparing yourself against other people. Bukan you comparing yourself shock dia macam tu. Who are the people in the market? They are all so good. They are all so good. Like when you go for macam you pergi ini kawan kita masuk renang kan. Chan, where's your kampung Chan?
KL, sir.
Yelah KL kat mana? Which part of KL?
Born in Kepung.
Kepung. Oh yeah, you're my neighbor. Aku dulu duduk Taman Ehsan kan. Action lah. Dia dulu Kepung kan. Dia Kepung gangster, jinjang gangster lah kan. Last time turun dia swimming pool, aku champion. Okay lah, you champion lah. Kan. FDL nombor 2, nombor 3. Okay lah, kita pack nombor 2, nombor 3. Dia masuk KL aja kan. Brickfield punya territory, Seputih punya territory tu semua. Baru dia kata, baru ada competition sikit kan. Dia masuk je Selangor lah. Dia masuk Malaysia, okay, give up lah. For example lah kan. So you must make your comparison to you punya benchmarking tu make sense, not just simply say, okay, I'm good. You kena faham lah. Sometimes your strength tu may look strength, but when you compare against other people, actually it's a weakness because you are last in class. Okay, there is another thing that I want you to also know. And it is your responsibility to check this. Because we mentioned about SWOT analysis just now. So SWOT analysis is a very powerful tool when only you do it correctly. So today you have been chat about doing it correctly. But SWOT analysis is meaningless because SWOT analysis, it is called analysis because you make some sort of analysis against other parameters, correct? But it is still an audit. Have it or don't have it. Tetapi it doesn't mean you can do it. Tadi kita cerita pasal you can do it kan yang tadi. Oh, pandai lah boleh jadi astronaut. Okay. This yang boleh do it ni dipanggil Taos metric. TOWS. TOWS matrix. Okay. Now, I always tell my student, if you learn nothing in the class lah, including sleeping, going to physio all the time when classes are going on, kan? Betul kan? Pretending that you are super sick or something like that, kan? If you learn nothing lah, zero. At the end of the class, what did you learn? I start with zero. I even gone to nearly negative, kan? But at least one thing that you should always remember as a takeaway. Even kalau market structure pun aku terlupa lah. At least one thing that you should not forget is the application of TOWS. TOWS matrix. You Google. Next week, you present, and I will tell you will present something from the book. Tapi bila you masuk kelas I, oh, now you see thing. Actually, this also no need to memorize. Actually, when I say you learn nothing, and then you learn only TOWS metric, actually, I like it. Because in order for you to do the TOWS metric, you must know market structure and a lot of other things lah. Because I told you, they are all interrelated kan. Dia nampak saja TOWS matrix, tapi thought process dia involve a lot of other things. Okay, ada soalan nak tanya? Itu Harry nampak macam terseksa.
Prof, okay bro, TOWS Prof
TOWS matrix.
Okay.
Don't be like me lah. First time I knew about TOWS matrix was long time ago. I think in 2010 ke begitu. So when somebody asked me, what is a TOWS matrix? You know what I answered? It is a SWOT matrix. You reverse it. SWOT, SWOT kan. Jadi aku cakap terbalik. Itu benda yang sama. TOWS dia terbalik. Kan? Itu gelak je. Obviously you didn't do your homework. Kan? Sebenarnya TOWS matrix ni is a matching concept. You marry certain points. You marry the elements. OT, opportunities dengan internal dengan external. Mana strength and opportunities, strength and threats, weaknesses and opportunities, and then weaknesses and threats. It's always the internal first. Dia mesti WT ataupun WO ataupun ST ataupun SW. Dia tak boleh WS. Dia tak boleh TW tak boleh. The first abbreviation kat luar tu mesti internal. Because it's the internal that can do the job, not the external. External you cannot influence. The external you cannot you cannot control. Jom, aku punya kepala pun dah warna biru. Nampak? Ada nampak dah biru? Nampak? Dah nak jadi Yoda dah. Nampak? Jedi Master. Kau ada? Kau ada biru? Tak ada kan? Nampak? Tak ada. Ada biru kan? Ada biru. Dia nampak biru. Nampak? Nampak? Macam kalau Jedi Master kan dia kan keluar api kan. So, you ada tengok cerita ni tak? Star
Saya
Wars.
ingat jadi Goku.
Kalau lama-lama sangat kan keluar api.
Tapi Goku dia ada rambut.
Ya. Yoda. Kan? Yoda dia nampak macam Jedi Master. Ada soalan lagi. Saya kau pergi Google tengok. Bila Yoda bercakap ada tak keluar biru? Yoda hijau. Dia yang keluar biru tu Darth Vader. Kan? Ada soalan nak tanya? Tak ada? Tak ada. Ni dah 12.45 dah ni.
Tak ada Prof.
Tak ada, okey. Sihat. Okay, tak ada dah, balik lah. Cukup lah.
Prof.
Ada lagi nak tanya? Tak ada? Nanti aku hantar bill lah, consultation bill.
Okey, boleh.
Okay, baik, Prof.
Bagi
Kita
dekat
hantar,
Harry.
kita...
Buat semua Harry settlekan nanti.
Kita
Prof
settle
hantar
dekat
Harry.
Tony Romas tu.
Tony
Ah.
Romas.
Takut Tony ramas je nanti.
Kedai
Nanti
Mamat
saya
Tony
re-
Romas.
Okay,
saya reverse charge balik dekat SKC ni.
okay. Now the thing you must understand, many people, that's why I said, bila kita belajar satu pendidikan, a lot of people, they don't quite understand what they're doing. There are so many people with so many qualifications, but they don't have got good thought process. Because what they did was that they pay you the money just to get certification. So when you do the exercises in the class, they seem to they portray that they understand, but they never understand the mechanics behind it. Macam orang jual jam lah. Jam ni cantik ke tak cantik? Cantik. Sebab kita tengok kosmetik dia. Tapi kita tak pernah tengok dekat belakang dia tu, dalam dia, enjin dia, thought process dia macam mana kan. Like for example, you pilih apa tu, Philip Patek Philip Patek betul? Dia kalau yang ciplak dia
Patek Philips.
Patek Philip, yang mana satu yang ori? Patek Philip ke
Patek
Philip
Philip.
Patek?
Patek Philips.
Patek Philip. Patek punya Philip. Okay, Patek punya Philip. Okay. Philip Patek yang dia apa tu lah, dia apa paling special lah kan. So one time I went to the shop lah dekat Mpok ni kan. So this guy was saying, oh ni Datuk ni ada jual satu Patek Philip lah, dia kata second hand lah. I said, how much is this? 110,000. So I say, is that expensive or cheap? They say it's cheap. The driver came over and said, and I checked this thing bagus semua. So I said, oh yeah, how much is this? Brand new 400 plus, dia kata. Sebab Patek Philip ni dia bukan macam Rolex tau. Dia harga dia bisa turun sikit lah daripada ori kan, betul lah. Dia tak ni lah. So dia biasa ni lah kan. So I said, oh, what's so good about this thing? And dia kata, why people pay apa tu 500,000 lah nak beli ni original. Dia kata, okay, this one open heart. Untuk mechanics dia nampak sikit. Lepas tu aku tengok Seiko pun buat juga benda sama kan. Tapi Seiko is Seiko lah. Seiko kalau beli pun mungkin mahal-mahal pun 700 pun boleh dapat juga yang ada yang macam tu lah. Tapi tak adalah nama dia Patek Philip kan. So okay lah, tak apalah dia because different people appreciate different things, nama, status and things like that kan. Tapi kalau aku pakai Philip Patek pun orang ingat Patek Philip. Tak ada masalah kan. Cuma jangan duduk sebelah orang-orang macam Harry lah kan. Aku duduk sebelah orang macam Chan ke apa kan. This one. 500,000 mah. Betul kan? Oh ya. Cikgu mestilah dia pakai mahal. Okay. So this is very apa tu lah. So you need to understand the mechanics of it, because what you are actually paying for is to enrich your mind, enrich your thinking process. Bukannya kita bagi satu jawapan dalam ini, so that because the questions can come in many forms, but you understand how to do it. Dia kadang-kadang cikgu ni dia ada masalah. Soalan yang sama dia keluarkan dalam lecture sebab dia tahu student ada masalah. Jadi apa dia expect student produce jawapan yang sama lah. Kan? So in the end everybody wins. From the perspective the teacher get A for good lecturing, student get A because they're clever. Actually they cheat the system. You understand? At the end, actually everybody lose.